Singing, singing, singing for joy. What an apt motto for Heart of the Valley. For it is a choir resounding with a love of music, a dedication to excellence, and that particular HVCC sound which draws enthusiastic audiences and brings tears to Carol's eyes. Though I did not join HVCC until high school, I caught at once the infectious delight in music that inspired me to take on the challenges of learning that confusing solfege, mastering hopeless rhythms, and working to improve my voice. I have always been surrounded by music, but not until I joined HVCC did I realize just how great a joy singing can be.
I am a high-energy kid. My mom brought me to Heart of the Valley looking for a way to focus second-grade Lily's energy. Music happened to be the only thing that slowed me down and got me to focus on one thing and one thing alone: music. It's the sound of every individual voice joining to one. HVCC raised me. It took me to untraveled worlds and taught me more about teamwork than any team ever has.
Over the past 8 years, I can hardly recall a Monday or Tuesday night when I wasn't at choir. In the beginning, we were at Jefferson School, and my idol was my student director, Joanna. She helped me feel welcome and showed me how much fun singing can be. She also is the reason I wanted to become a student director. At the Bach Festival in Eugene, she was always ensuring that I didn't feel lost or alone. By the end of that tour, I had made so many new friends and learned so much music that there was no going back. Choir was my life. Without my experiences in choir, I wouldn't be the person I am today, and if I were given another chance, I would do it all over again.
In the beginning of my time in HVCC, I was unprepared for the amount of memorization and hard work required for my music. This was even more apparent in preparing for the tour to Austria and the Czech Republic. Because of a pre-scheduled soccer tournament in Boise, I was not at rehearsal prior to the tour, so I had to learn over 10 songs, most of them brand new to me, with very little rehearsal time. In order to learn all this music, I had to be very dedicated, teaching myself the music as well as the words, which were in all sorts of languages, while I was in Boise.
Through 6 years of warm-ups, solfege, college-level music, and numerous events, I have learned not only how to sing, but how to be a musician. I learned how to work with others, how to be dedicated to a group and to a cause, and how to really see things through to the end. My absolute favorite memory with the choir was last summer. It was my first time overseas without my parents, and not only was I able to grow as an individual, but as a musician. We sang Mozart's Mass in the Salzburg Dom, the building that he had written the song for. Professor Janos Zifra, the Dom's musical director, was directing, and ironically enough, looked a little bit like Mozart himself. In that moment, it came alive for me. The art, the music, the history, the gravity of where we were singing. It was a life-changing moment, and I can't say that I will ever look at or hear Mozart or any music at all ever the same again.
I've loved HVCC from the start. The rehearsals, retreats, concerts, tours, and especially the choral music we've sung are beyond numbers for me. I feel like I am made of music and musical experiences. This connectedness was especially experienced at Terezin, a concentration camp in the Czech Republic, where we stood on the same steps that the concentration camp choir stood long ago. All the dedicated choir hours and meaningful outcomes have inspired me to want to study music therapy next year. As a student director, I've realized how empowering music is for children. I enjoy seeing their response to music, specifically how they grow, gain confidence, and feel a sense of belonging. I can see myself 9 years ago in their expectant eyes, learning the songs and loving HVCC.
Deciding not to quit HVCC after 1 year in prep choir was the best decision I ever made. I worked my way up from being shy and quiet to the confident student director I am today. Whether singing the White Cliffs of Dover on the ferry to France, feeling overwhelming emotion at Terezin concentration camp, or even singing in the barn at Tadmor, choir has always brought me joy and fulfillment. Like most people, I joined choir to sing. I stayed because I discovered the power of song helped me create my identity.
My first HVCC tour was to Seattle. As part of the tour, we went to Tilcomb Village. Late at night, we came back from the island on a ferry and sat on the deck facing the stars, singing with the wind softly blowing through our hair. I was young, but singing with the older kids filled me with joy and peace. It didn't matter how old we were or if anyone was listening. We sang because we were moved in our hearts, because singing made us happy. We sang, and that brought us together. It brought us love. I committed myself to HVCC that night. Now at the end of my HVCC career, I can say that I didn't forget my commitment, even when high school became exponentially busy. And HVCC has returned that commitment many times over with joyful music and memories I will never ever forget, like the night on the ferry.
Throughout my life, I have been the choir baby. From a young age, I'd always wanted to go to choir. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world, and I just wanted to be a part of it. I remember waiting by the front door with a binder of any kind, just waiting for my siblings to go to choir so I could join them. When I did join, it was in the 2nd grade like my sister Candace, which was a grade earlier than most. I start singing and don't even realize it until I stop or someone says something. Singing has made me into the person I am today.
To me, choir membership means attending daily double summer rehearsals, plowing through 6 hours of dress rehearsal in Denver, and especially turning up every Monday night equipped with enthusiasm and black choir binder. However, HVCC makes the work worth it because the final product alone is reward enough.
HVCC is where I found relaxation, healing, amazing friendships, and experiences beyond my wildest dreams. I will never forget the camaraderie I felt as I cried with the choir after singing on the steps at Teradazine. I remember how Jasmine and I didn't know if we'd be able to stop crying until Aaron Golarud said tissue and proceeded to pull out a giant roll of toilet paper that he'd stashed in his backpack from the hotel room. Without 10 glorious, fun-filled years with HVCC, I wouldn't have the level of musicality that membership has helped me to gain, and I would still be that same tone-deaf kid I was when I first joined, without the confidence to sing my heart out unless I was accompanied by at least 20 other people.
In return for thousands of hours spent driving to and from choir, I have gained skills as a vocal and instrumental musician while singing impactful and beautiful music that I can hum for the rest of my life. I've met influential directors who have inspired me to follow my passion and dreams to become a music educator. I've learned to connect to the music and sing beyond the notes and rhythms, as well as sing beautiful lyrics through my oboe with songs like No Time, Psalm 23, and Beneath the African Sky. Venues like Terezin Concentration Camp in Austria and the Veterans Rehabilitation Center are indescribably beautiful and memorable.
A choir is a group made up of individuals coming together to learn and share the joy of music. Similar to a sports team, each person must do their part in order for the group to function at the highest level. Heart of the Valley Children's Choir has shown me what it truly means to commit to a cause, being consistently present, respectful to peers, responsive to your leader, and most of all, truly dedicating yourself in every way to the goal, in this case, the sharing of wonderful music to the world.
Involvement in music has had such a profound impact on my life that now as I go off to college, I'm considering a major in music education. HVCC has been an integral part of that involvement. I have learned so much music in my 9 years of HVCC. Those songs and the texts that go with them will always be a part of me. I know I will never forget performing on the steps of the Paris Opera House on Bastille Day, or spontaneously singing Dona Nobis Pacem with 4 other choirs in the Salzburg Cathedral. These experiences and others have taught me that music is truly universal.
I auditioned for HVCC after being told about the choir by one of my friends who had recently graduated. When I first started singing with HVCC, I was using it as a musical escape. My school choir at the time did not have a very strong tenor section, so the brunt of the work fell to me, and I sort of became the volume for the section. In Heart of the Valley, however, I could just be me. I could sing my part and work to be a section with other great tenors rather than be a section personally. I have learned over my 2 years in HVCC that commitment and dedication aren't measured in hours, awards, or solos, but in what you do to make the group the best that it can possibly be.
I don't know whether to focus on the incredible places where I've been privileged enough to sing, the hilarious stories that emerge from choir retreats and tours, or maybe the amazing chill bump-inducing music we've sung. I'll never be able to express in words the influence and pride that being part of HVCC has given me, but I will always be saying thank you. Through choir, I've formed strong bonds with people I respect and care for dearly. I've sung songs a cappella on the streets of Salzburg and spent my first weeks of summer at twice-a-day rehearsals, which never felt like a waste. I've laughed, cried, danced, sung, and grown up with this choir. And leaving will be very difficult, but I know you can never really leave your family.
Every one of my musical firsts has happened in HVCC. The first time I've read music, or the first time I auditioned for a solo, and even the first time I sang in a European cathedral. Having been given so much by HVCC, it is my pleasure to now give back to the next generation through my job as a student director. On Tuesday nights, you'll probably find me teaching the second sopranos their solfege or the Beach Boys. In my 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, I see the singer I used to be, and it's my dream that by the time they're my age, they will have had the same unforgettable musical moments that HVCC has given me. Really, to be a member of HVCC is to take a musical journey that will last with you for a lifetime.
I've been in choir for 11 wonderful and unforgettable years. Choir has always been a light for me. I would often carry the stress and frustrations of school with me, but when I got to choir practice, the magic of HVCC would immediately change my mood to one of enthusiasm, as if flipping a light switch or snapping a finger. Choir has given me so much that I'm truly thankful for. My fondest memories were made from choir. It has engraved deep within me a strong love for music. It has been a priceless experience for me, and I will remember it forever as my homeland.
It is truly a bittersweet realization knowing that next year I won't be here anymore. But wherever I am, because of HVCC, I have had singing. How amazing is it to say that the first time I ever left the country, it was to sing in the cathedrals and churches of Salzburg, Vienna, and Prague. Many of nights of rehearsal, though they have seemed tedious at times, have all led up to experiences that I will treasure for the rest of my life. In the words of Stephen Sometz, I have had pleasure enough. I have had singing.